Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here as we commence Brittany's exclusive learning webinar entitled Building Investment Momentum in Challenging Times this profitable Saturday afternoon. By definition, momentum refers to the amount of motion occurring in something that is moving or the force that drives something forward to keep moving. When there is no momentum or driving force, there is no movement. And when there is no movement, there is no progress. As such, building momentum keeps us moving forward. Brittany Corporation moves forward by holding professional learning opportunities such as this as part of its excellent service to its valued stakeholders and business partners. With this, there is much to discover and learn from our credible guest speakers who are experts in investment and business development. Before we start, I would like to remind you that if you have any questions, please save them for the Q&A section where you can direct your messages on our guest speakers in the chat box provided. This webinar will be recorded for documentation. To begin with our investment webinar, let me introduce to you our first speaker for today. He is the Assistant Vice President as well as Head of Business Development and Market Education for First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation since 2015. He is also a Managing Director of a variety of businesses, proving his experience and competence in his field. He is an accredited lecturer and trainer with licenses in Philippine Stock Exchange, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Added to that is his professional certifications from the likes of Bloomberg. He will be giving us an introduction to investments, touch on the current trends in the equity market and opportunities in the stock market, as well as give his recommendations for investment growth. Let us all welcome Mr. Andro Leo Beltran.
Yes, thank you, Pao, and good afternoon to our viewers. Thank you for that introduction. So if you will, please allow me to just share my presentation screen. There you go. Pao, are you guys seeing my materials?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to our close to 100 attendees thus far. Thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us, and we're going to make sure that it's going to be worthwhile. No? Again, my name is Andoy. I'm heading both the business development and market education departments of First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. We're the stock brokerage arm of Metro Bank. We've been named as 2017, 2018, 2020, and just recently, some 2 weeks ago, 2021 Best Broker in the Philippines. Pre-pandemic, just so you know, pre-pandemic, what I do normally on a day-to-day basis, including weekends like this one. I pretty much go from campus to campus, office to office, island to island, and even country to country, talking to Filipinos basically about anything and everything, investments, leadership, management, and again, everything in between. But during the pandemic, I saw myself, bouncing from Zoom meetings to WebEx to Teams to Fuse. I pretty much have all those teleconferencing, video conferencing apps on my phone, on my laptop, because learning never stops, no? And so does investing. We might be under certain quarantine measures. We might be looking at, we might be facing this pandemic. We have yet to achieve herd immunity, but then again, learning and earning never stops. And again, hats off to the guys behind this webinar, this learning program, because the pandemic never stopped them from reaching out to you guys, so that you get to make informed decisions as to where you're supposed to put your money. During the pandemic, from webinars, I saw myself getting interviews from TV interviews, radio interviews, Facebook live sessions for TGFI, for the Department of Finance, for the Bureau of Treasury, for the Filipino Times, and even our very own YouTube channel from First Metro Securities. That even paved the way to me establishing Let's Invest page on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. But then again, the idea here is all about momentum. We're going to talk a lot about money. We're going to talk a lot about investment opportunities, and we're going to talk about them in the context of momentum. Sabi nga ni Pao kanina, momentum is all about movement. Yung movement na yun, it does not necessarily mean parating forward. What we from what we've observed the past several months, including 2020, it's a series of ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And minsan nakita natin yung momentum na yun. And it's really up to us to take advantage of those momentums. And for us to be able to take advantage of the ups and the downs, we have to start with what we know. And again, that's basically our role. That's my role, and that's my partner Joey's role, to provide you with everything you need to know for you to make that informed decision. But just so you know what's really happening out there, especially in the Philippines, we're really having a difficult time when it comes to financial literacy, and that's essentially why I've turned financial literacy into my advocacy, no? Because 75%, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, 75% of Filipinos are financially illiterate. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? It means we know math, we know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide numbers, but the problem is in real life, which is the more important, the most important, we don't know how to multiply money. We're having a difficult time growing money. It's very easy for us to spend money, but the problem is we're having a difficult time keeping and growing money. And again, that's a problem. According to the Asian Development Bank, 80% of Filipinos aren't even budgeting. They don't have plans when it comes to money. And the problem is, if you don't have plans, especially when it comes to money, we almost always end up spending everything. And that's why that's essentially the reason why we can't afford to save. That's essentially the reason why Filipinos can't afford to invest. Speaking of saving, only 10% of Filipinos are into savings. That means 90% of Filipinos don't have enough savings. Speaking of investing, 97% of Filipinos aren't even investing in our very own local stock market. You see a huge number of Filipinos going into cryptocurrency trading, cryptocurrency investing, forex trading, forex investing. But numbers tell us that when it comes to the local stock market, our local legitimate stock market, only 3%, less than 3% of Filipinos are participating or putting their money in our stock market. And all in all, ang ibig sabihin nitong lahat ng to, no, is after everything said and done, we've spent quite a number of years studying, more than 30 years of working, the average Filipino. By the time we turn 55, by the time we turn 56, by the time we turn 60, 65, depending on our industry, by the time we retire, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and SSS, they're telling us that 98% of Filipinos are retiring poor. So imagine again, the number of years you've spent studying, the number of years you've spent working, but after everything said and done, according to SSS, we all have this 98% chance that by the time we retire, we're still going to be poor. Again, the reason is financial illiteracy. The reason is we don't budget our money. We don't manage our money. We just keep on spending it. We don't save and we don't invest. And again, that's essentially our role, to provide you with investment opportunities for you to grow your money the legitimate way in the Philippines. So again, this is my take. This is my take on building investment momentum in challenging times. All right. So speaking of momentum, again, what you're seeing, what's flashed in front of you, is essentially the historical performance, the price chart of our local stock market, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, from 1987 to 2021 March. Momentum. There are reasons why it's going down. There are also reasons why it's recovering. But for this in this juncture, I'm just going to talk about exclusively the reasons why it's going down. Just so you know that it's justified. May dahilan ng lahat. No? What you're seeing there, 1991, it's because of Mount Pinatubo. It erupted, but it didn't just erupt. It caused havoc even in the metro. Back in 1995, 1996, it's the first time we've encountered territorial dispute for Mischief Reef, and that's also the first time we're hearing about Abu Sayyaf. 1998, 1999, transitioning to 1999, we've experienced the Asian financial crisis. Again, I'm just trying to point out the reasons why the stock market's been crashing. 2000 dot-com bubble. Ito yung panahon na natatakot tayo na mag 0000 yung clock by the time it's January 1, 2000, because people were thinking everything powered by calculators, computers, chips, they're going to shut down. They're going to stop operating. 2002, 2003, you have the Estrada impeachment. And then this is the first time we're hearing about the SARS-CoV, or the Southeast Asian Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. So this is the first of many variants of coronavirus. 2008, you have the global financial crisis. 2013, 2014, you have MERS-CoV, or the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. You have a lot of reasons why the market's been going down. And coming into 2020, we thought, early 2020, we thought Taal Volcano lang yung magiging problema natin. We thought yung mga hoarders ng N95 masks to protect them from the Taal Volcano's eruption. Actually, hindi naman siya eruption. We thought yung mga nag-hoard, sila lang yung magiging problema natin along the way, until we discovered that there's this thing called COVID-19. And that essentially dropped the stock market to 2011, 2010 lows. And we thought we were able to contain the virus until we saw a lot of variants. So I'm just trying to set the mood up, no? That when it comes to momentum, it's not always forward, it's not always upwards, not always progressive. We also need to factor in momentum when it comes to failures, when it comes to losses, when it comes to downturns. And just so you know, there are, again, reasons justifying why the economy's been going down, why the market's been going down. And again, my partner Joey Bondok's going to talk a lot about them in detail as we go along. What my role now is for you to understand, how are you really supposed to make the most out of your money when it comes to investment opportunities out there? Let me begin by attempting to make you change the way you look at money. Because money, if managed properly, if budgeted properly, money is not just supposed to be spent. It's not just supposed to be remitted sa kamag-anak natin sa Pilipinas for our OFWs. Money is actually intended to make more money. If it's budgeted the right way, if it's saved the right way, if it's invested the right way, especially in investment outlets that you understand, your money can actually make more money. And when it comes to investment outlets, you have the likes of deposits, you have bonds, you have stocks, and more importantly, you have real estate available for you to take advantage of. Again, they're arranged in that fashion, pataas, deposits, bonds, stocks, and real estate, because of their risk, return, and time horizon features. The lower the risk, the lower the return, and then the higher you go, the higher the risk, the higher the return. When it comes to time horizon, ideally, it's not a requirement, but ideally, the higher you go, the more complex and the more aggressive your investment outlet is. It's going to be to your advantage if you keep holding on to them. We're going to discuss those things as we go along, but time horizon essentially talks about the investor's willingness and ability to hold on to the asset as time goes by, because according to the equation, yung interest equation, I equals principal times rate times time, PRT. No matter how small the principal is, no matter how small your money is, no matter how small the rate is, for as long as you've been investing for a good number of years, you're going to make a huge sum of money off of it. So that's essentially a picture of the Philippines' legitimate investment outlets. It's very important as investors. It's very important for us that you know your options, and it's very important that we make you understand that these options are the legitimate ones. When we say legitimate, they're legitimate because they have regulators. They're legitimate because there are investor protection protocol, such that if you have concerns, if you have complaints, if you have issues, if you have questions, you know whom to get in touch with. So what I'm trying to say here is, for example, with deposits, again, we've talked about deposits providing us with low risk and low return. Your money makes more money by way of interest earnings. So when it comes to savings, checking accounts, time deposit, it grows by way of interest earnings. The ideal time horizon there is short term, less than 1 year, because it's essentially not growing as much. And the regulator is the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Shifting to bonds or the fixed income market, you have a medium risk and medium return outlet. Instead of just earning from one stream of income, your money makes more money by way of capital appreciation and coupon. So it's both, not or. You get capital appreciation and coupon payments for coupon paying bonds, of course. The ideal time horizon, of course, is medium term because of its dual stream of income. So it's ideal that you keep holding on to it medium to long term, 1 year to 10 years. And it's being regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the Securities Exchange Commission. For the stock market, it provides us with high risk, but it also provides us with a high potential return. Our money makes more money by way of capital appreciation when you buy something low and then sell something high, and at the same time you get dividends. What are dividends? Essentially, they are profit sharing. You call them profit sharing. Why are you supposed to get profit sharing? Well, because when it comes to stock market investing, you're not just the typical investor. When it comes to stock market investing, you're now called a shareholder or a stockholder. That means you are now a co-owner, a part owner of the corporation, of the company, and by virtue of being a part owner, if and when they happen to be profitable, and if and when they declare dividends from their profits, then you're supposed to receive dividends from that particular company. That's what makes stock market investing a good long-term investment vehicle. And when it comes to regulators, it gets regulated jointly by the Securities Exchange Commission, by the Philippine Stock Exchange, and of course the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And then we also have, of course, the real estate investment. It provides us with a higher potential risk. It provides us with a higher potential return, something I'm going to talk about in detail as we go along. And it provides us with capital appreciation, price appreciation, and it also provides you with an opportunity to earn money by way of rental income or lease income. It gives us an opportunity to earn more from our real estate investments if we keep on holding on to them in the long term. Yung iba inuupuan, pinapalago, yung pinapalaki, yung value, and then yung iba pinapakinabangan naman nila in the long term by way of leasing it, renting it out, or essentially using it for business purposes. And when it comes to regulators, it's regulated by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which provides us with the zonal value, HLURB, the Registry of Deeds, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and the SEC to a certain extent. Now, you might be thinking, Andoy, why is real estate on top of the food chain? But siya nasa pinakataas, no? Well, again, it provides us with the highest potential return because it's safe to say that real estate investing is somehow pandemic-proof. May konting risk lang dito when it comes to office spaces. May konting risk lang when it comes to other facets of the industry. But generally speaking, it's pandemic-proof because nag-appreciate naman yung price ng real estate investments regardless of the situation. Because simply put, because of the supply and demand, the law of supply and demand. You see more and more people born into this world. You see more and more people working their behinds off to earn a decent income, to save and be able to afford getting their own house and lot or condo unit. More and more people putting real estate into the mix. But the problem is you have less and less available real estate. That's why you're seeing small, medium, and large scale developers going vertical, diba? For a small parcel of land, you're seeing more and more condominium towers being built. For a small parcel of land in the subdivisions, parang it's no longer practical for us to construct a bungalow house and lot. Kasi you'd like to make the most out of the real estate. So at the minimum, a two-story house, and then wala nang roof. Minsan roof deck pa yung third floor. No? So what I'm really trying to say there is you have more and more people demanding real estate, but you have less and less available real estate. That's why it's a good opportunity for us to take advantage kasi yun nga yung nagpo-push ng prices upwards, no. So what we're really trying to provide you guys with would be practical applications and practical options, no, when it comes to investment opportunities. The thing is, Filipinos tend to shy away from investing because they think investing is only for the rich. So investing is only for those people who really can afford to invest. But we really don't have an idea as to how much are we really supposed to have at the minimum for us to really start investing. So let's begin by talking about stocks. When it comes to stock market investing, some people think I need to have a lot of money when it comes to stock market investing. Some people think, stock market investing is not for me kasi nursing grad ako. Kasi hindi ako business grad, hindi ako finance grad. I'm bad with numbers, I'm bad with math, no? They think you have to be good with numbers. They think you have to be finance grads, no? They think you have to monitor the market 24/7. They think you have to monitor the market once it goes live by 9:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. They think for you to make money in the stock market, you need to understand complex charts, interpret complex numbers. But the thing is, you really don't. No, hindi naman siya talaga requirement. When it comes to stock market investing, it's just best that you have quite a number of options to choose from. But the problem is you have way too many options to choose from. In the Philippines, you have close to 300 listed stocks to choose from. They're publicly listed, so that means you don't need special approval from anyone, no, for you to invest or buy their share of stocks. All you really need to have is a stock brokerage account. In the Philippines, from the close to 300 listed stocks, what the Philippine Stock Exchange did, is that they came up with, in basketball terms, all stars, the best of the best. You have 30 of the best, heavily traded, most stable companies. We collectively call them Philippine Stock Exchange Index, or PSEI, or blue chips or index stocks. They're called blue chips because they're historically proven to weather economic downturns. They're the biggest in their respective industries. They're top of mind when it comes to branding. And most importantly, especially sa atin, ang mga investors, they're consistent when it comes to dividend payments. And if we're going to interpret that, the reason why they are consistent in dividend payments is because they're consistently profitable. Again, because you can't share what you don't have. You can't share profits. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-profit sharing if you don't have profits to begin with. So it's as if you're owning a business without having to run a business. You get to buy shares of a fast food chain, but you don't need to wake up early in the morning to open that fast food chain. You get to buy shares of a telco, a telecommunications company, without having to go out of your way to fix problems, to fix internet issues, to fix data problem. No? So parang it's as if you are outsourcing the management to the people who really know how to manage the business. Nakikibakas ka lang dun sa negosyo by way of, again, buying shares of stocks of that particular corporation, that particular listed corporation. There you go. So it's as if you're co-owning a business. You provide yourself an opportunity. You give yourself an opportunity to become an instant entrepreneur, to become an instant businessman, for as low as 5,000 pesos. So that's the initial investment amount, no, when it comes to stock market investing. And the good thing about that, again, as mentioned previously, is that our money grows two ways by way of capital appreciation and at the same time dividends. So this is just a quick recap of what happened to perhaps the most popular fast food chain, not just in the Philippines, safe to say Southeast Asia, no? Jollibee Foods Corporation. Pre-pandemic, Jollibee was actually doing quite well until they started buying businesses left and right, na hindi naging maganda sa pananaw ng mga investors kasi masyado daw mabilis yung growth momentum na gusto nilang makuha, no. Personally speaking, I was able to invest in Jollibee as early as 2005, and that was essentially my first sweldo. I graduated from Sadbeda 2005. I joined the Bank of the Philippine Islands the same year. And my very first sweldo under the officership training program, I started buying Jollibee, BPI shares, and BPI mutual funds. And I was able to buy Jollibee shares for 26 pesos per share. And I just kept on doing that. I just kept on buying Jollibee shares every first payday of the month. Just so you know, Jollibee went up to as high as 328. But during the height of the pandemic, it went down to as low as 94, 90 pesos per share. And as of yesterday, I think before lunch, it was doing 177 pesos per share. What I'm trying to say here is when it comes to stock market investing, you have one way to make money is if you get to take advantage of the dips. If you get to buy low and then sell high, if you get to buy low and then you sell high. When it comes to the second payday of the month, up until now, I've been buying Meralco. 2005, I was able to buy Meralco shares for 12 pesos per share. It peaked to 396, close to 400. During the height of the pandemic, it went down to as low as 189, but now it's pretty stable, 270, 272 pesos per share. The good thing about Meralco is despite the pandemic, may demand pa rin for power because students were homeschooling. Some workers, some office workers are working from home. Hindi naman 100% patay yung mga malls because of during the height of PCQ, may mga essential establishments pa rin naman na nagbubukas. But just the same, bumaba ng konti yung demand, especially from the commercial side of things. But then again, we're going to find out eventually that when it comes to dividend payments, ang laki ng difference, no? See Jollibee, for example, pre-pandemic, I was able to receive a total of 2 pesos and 58 centavos from Jollibee. So that's 2 pesos and 58 centavos per share 2019 from Jollibee alone, dividends alone. You might think, again, Andoy, it's 2 pesos and 58. That's going to be multiplied by the number of shares you own. So assuming that you have, let's say, 100,000 shares of Jollibee, that's more than 250,000 pesos. In dividends alone, Jollibee alone, 2019 alone. But then again, we're talking about 2019. This was pre-pandemic. During the pandemic, during 2020, from 2 pesos and 58, I was only able to get a total of 1 peso 30 centavos per share. So dito natin makikita yung malaking difference, malaking disparity ng performance at ng dividend at ang profit, no, profit sharing ni Jollibee. But then again, 1 peso 30 centavos is still not bad considering that 2020 again, pandemic, no. There were moments na yung dine-in capacity ng Jollibee restaurants, Jollibee branches. And again, we're not just talking about Jollibee, guys. We're talking about Jollibee Foods Corporation. So throw in Red Ribbon, throw in Greenwich, throw in Mang Inasal, throw in Tim Ho Wan, lahat, no? Lahat ng nasa group nila kasama dito. So 1 peso 30 centavos, multiply that assuming you have 100,000 shares, that's still 130,000 pesos from Jollibee alone, 2020 alone, dividends alone during the pandemic. If you're going to ask me, not bad, not bad. But the thing is, it got slashed, no, considerably from 2 pesos and 58 the previous year. Now, how about Meralco? Again, I just like you to understand, no, that not all stocks are created equal. That's essentially my message. It does not necessarily mean na pag nagkaroon ka ng stock brokerage account or nakabili ka na ng stocks, okay na. Good to go. Secured na yung future ko. The reason why our friends from Brittany of Vista Land would like to present you webinars like this is because they'd like you to make informed decisions. That's ultimately the goal. By not spoon feeding you. Oh, ito, gawin natin to, dito tayo. It's very important that you make those decisions for yourself because it's your hard-earned money we're talking about. And it's very noble of them that they're arranging something like this for you because again, it just shows how much they think about your welfare as investors. Let's now go to Meralco. Meralco pre-pandemic 2019, I was able to get 1605. No? So again, pretty good, especially pre-pandemic. So that's assuming you have 100,000 shares of Meralco. That's 1.6 million pesos. And dividends alone, Meralco alone, 2019. 2020, you might think, 2020 baka parang Jollibee yan, slash by 50%, no? Parang hindi masyadong maraming gumagamit ng kuryente sa malls, hindi masyadong gumagamit ng kuryente sa offices because most people are working from home, schools, ganun din. But the thing is, surprisingly, I personally I was also surprised that by 2020 I was able to get 1509. So parang hindi rin masyadong malayo from 1605 the previous year. So that's 1509 assuming I stopped buying for a year ng Meralco, still 100,000 shares. That's still 1.5 million pesos from Meralco alone, dividends alone 2020 during the pandemic. No? So again, the message is clear. No? For as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, for as long as you know where you're investing your money, it gives you some sense of confidence. It gives you peace of mind. Si Jollibee, ang laki ng binagsak niya, pero Jollibee is still Jollibee. Ang hinihintay lang talaga natin dito is ma-achieve natin yung herd immunity. Hinihintay lang natin dito is a further reopening of the economy and eventually no yung ma-restore yung confidence ng business owners, ng government and ng consumers for us to continue life as we know it. No? The idea there is for you to pick small companies with the potential to make it big in the Philippines, or perhaps pick the biggest companies in the Philippines with the potential to make it global. Again, my partner, no, si Joey Bondok, is going to provide you with concrete examples, concrete picks as to the potential recovery winners of the real estate industry at the very least. What about Andoy? What happens if I'm not the type of person who's into reading reports? I'm not the type of person who's into following corporate news outlets, disclosures. No, I'm so busy. I'm an employee 9 to 5. I'm a parent during lunchtime. I'm a parent before and after office hours. No? So parang you can't expect me to be able to monitor the stock market, even though you're saying that pwede naman siyang buy and forget. No? If you're that type of person, well, perhaps mutual funds could be for you. Ano ba tong mutual funds? No? Mutual funds essentially pools money of investors, like-minded investors. Kaya nga mutual. Merong mutual objectives. Mutual funds basically pool money of like-minded investors together. They pass it on. They entrust it to the management of full-time fund managers. They get invested in approved, publicly disclosed, legitimate investment vehicles. Again, legitimate. Hindi siya pwedeng bumili ng investment outlets na hindi publicly disclosed. That means even before you buy a certain mutual fund, sinasabi na nila sa'yo, dapat kung saan ilalagay ang pera mo. Certain percentage. O 30% dito, 40% dyan, 10% here. Just so you know na by the time you buy this particular mutual fund, your money will be distributed accordingly. And then by the time they generate returns, they get passed back on to investors. Why are you supposed to entrust your money sa mutual funds? So why am I, Andoy, why am I supposed to entrust my hard-earned money sa mutual funds? Well, number one, it's legitimate. It's established under the Investment Company Act. Your investments are valued by way of net asset value per share or NAV/PS. Sa unit investment trust funds, it's NAV/PU or net asset value per unit. It's per share because essentially you're buying shares of the investment company. So part owner ka ng investment company. Ang unit investment trust funds or UITF kasi is a product. It's a trust bank product. So ang ownership mo is represented by way of net asset value per unit of the product. And then how would you know if you are dealing with legitimate mutual fund companies or investment companies? Well, you can look them up via the website of SEC, www.sec.gov.ph, including the name of the sales representative that you're talking to. So dapat hindi lang registered yung mutual fund company, dapat registered din yung tao na nag-i-introduce sa'yo ng mutual fund. So again, these are the things that are very practical para at least when you encounter people offering you investment outlets, you know how to double check. Andoy, how much am I supposed to invest initially? With mutual funds, you can start investing for as little as 5,000 pesos. It provides you with access to higher yielding outlets na on your own, hindi natin kayang ma-access. It provides you with instant diversification because buying just one mutual fund will provide you access to 20, 30, sometimes even up to 40 individual securities in one fund. It's very liquid, meaning if you'd like to buy mutual funds and then walang nagbebenta ng shares ng mutual funds, the investment company or the mutual fund company can actually sell you shares. And conversely, if you'd like to sell mutual funds, your mutual fund shares, at wala kang nakikitang buyers, hindi mo kailangan maghanap ng buyer because the mutual fund company can actually buy it from you. So that's what makes it a very viable investment option because it's very liquid. It's exempt from capital gains tax. And again, most importantly, you are outsourcing the decision making to professional fund managers na tumututok sa market for you. Comparing that to stocks, sa stocks kasi ikaw ang driver. Alam naman natin, kapag ikaw ang driver, dapat nakafocus ka sa daan. Dapat tinitingnan mo kung ano yung news, kung saan ano yung balita, saan ka liliko, saan ka hihinto. Kaya ang kagandahan naman nun is you have full control. Alam mo na every payday, first payday, bibili ka ng Jollibee. Second payday, bibili ka ng Meralco. You have full control. Some people like being in control. But again, depending on your lifestyle, depending on your personality, depending on your sensitivities, may mga tao naman na gusto nila relax lang ng konti. No? That's why when it comes to mutual funds, you have a driver. And your driver happens to be your fund manager. Your fund manager allows you to focus less on your investments because, boss, ako na to. Ako na bahala dito. Leave it to me. But the problem is when it comes to mutual fund investing, your driver/fund manager chooses the direction and the route. Hindi ka pwedeng magsabi, fund manager, tawagan mo. Pwede bang ibili mo ako ng Jollibee? First payday ko ngayon, magdadagdag ako, bili mo ako ng Jollibee. Tapos second payday, magdadagdag ulit ako, bilan mo ako ng Meralco. If Jollibee and Meralco is not part of the mutual funds investment universe, the fund manager can't do that for you. You remember, you are paying your driver to choose the destination for you. You are paying your mutual fund manager to do these decisions for you. You're not paying them to listen to you because between you and your fund manager, mas may somehow credibility at mas may expertise, mas experienced ang mutual fund manager mo between you and the fund manager. No? Now, Andoy, I'm quite liking so far. I'm quite liking certain features of stocks. I'm quite liking certain features of mutual funds. But what if I have very little capital? I can't I can't invest in stocks and I can't invest in mutual funds. Is there something, if there's something else out there resembling good features of stocks and good features of mutual funds then? Well, yes, there is. There happens to be a fusion between stocks and mutual funds, and that's what we call exchange traded funds. And in the Philippines, there only happens to be one. I'm not doing this for promotional purposes or for selling purposes. I'm doing this because, again, there's only one in the Philippines. That happens to be ours. No? First Metro Philippine Equity Exchange Traded Fund. When it comes to blue chips, FMETF, or the First Metro Exchange Traded Fund, exclusively invests in blue chips. If you'd like to buy all the blue chip stocks, you're going to have to spend about 700 to 730,000 pesos currently, right now. Bagsak pa yung market sa lagay na yan. Medyo cheap pa yung market sa lagay na yan, 700,000 pesos. And 700,000 pesos is a lot. So it's not beginner friendly, it's not Pinoy friendly. If you'd like to start investing in stocks, tapos sabi mo blue chips lang lahat, 700,000 pesos is quite a lot, no? Especially for starters. But what the First Metro Exchange Traded Fund does, what FMETF does, is it buys all those blue chip stocks, all 30 of them, it puts them in one basket, and that basket is something you can buy for as little as 1,500 pesos. So it makes investing easy, it makes investing affordable, and it makes investing super simple because you just buy one ETF and you get 30 of the best stocks in the Philippines. Again, for as little as 1,500 pesos. So it's an exchange traded fund, a hybrid between stocks and mutual funds. It's a mutual fund listed in the stock market. It's a viable investment option because it's affordable. It's super simple. It's tradable. When I say tradable, pwede kang bumili ng ETF in the morning and then pwede mo siyang ibenta in the afternoon kung kumita ka na ng pera at masaya ka na dun sa kinita mo. Wala siyang holding period. And most importantly, it's being managed by an award-winning team from the First Metro Group. And then we now go to real estate. Sabi nga natin kanina dun sa intro, no? Real estate investing is on top of there, on top, no? It's on top because it provides us with the highest potential return. And some people actually believe that real estate investing, especially long term, is pandemic proof because again, simply put, the law of supply and demand. More and more people demanding real estate, less and less real estate supply, it pushes the prices up. But when it comes to real estate investing, we also need to admit to ourselves that there are pitfalls. Meron din tayong barriers when it comes to real estate investing. Some people find it very expensive. Of course, totoo naman. For you to start investing in real estate, you need to own real estate property. And for you to be able to do that, you need to let go of millions of pesos. Hindi to kagaya ng mutual funds, 5,000, stock market, 5,000, exchange traded fund, 1,500. Hindi ganun ang labanan sa real estate. Parang for big ticket ang usapan sa real estate. But you also need to look into access to capital. Oh, what if I don't have millions? Then ang bagsak natin dito would be real estate loan, housing loan, and ganun din, no? You have limited access to capital. Minsan magre-require pa ng collateral. You have to look into maintenance. It's one thing that you're owning real estate. It's another that you need to maintain the real estate property. For you to maintain its value, for you to be able to retain its sellability, diba? And then there's concentration risk. Baka naman masyado kang maraming real estate properties dito sa isang lugar na flood prone or heavy traffic, hindi attractive to buyers, tinamaan ng fault line. And then another thing is you also need to look into liquidity risk. Kasi no matter how much, no matter the amount of your real estate portfolio is in millions, in billions, it's very difficult for us to sell real estate properties that quick. Again, because of the barrier to entry, because it's quite expensive. No matter how many friends you have on Facebook, no matter how many followers you have on Twitter, on Instagram, it's very difficult for you to instantly sell real estate properties. Hindi siya kagaya ng pagbebenta ng gamit sa Facebook Marketplace. No? Ibang usapan to because sabi nga natin, real estate properties, minsan ano to life goal na to, life goal ng usapan. But all these problems are now solved when it comes to investing. No? All these problems are now solved by what we call the Real Estate Investment Trust or REIT. Ano ba tong REIT? A REIT is essentially real estate investments fused with mutual funds and stocks. So kung parang kanina sa exchange traded funds, good features of mutual funds, good features of stocks in one, you call that ETF. Ito namang REITs or Real Estate Investment Trust, good features of real estate, good features of stocks and mutual funds in one, you call that Real Estate Investment Trust. Ano ba tong Real Estate Investment Trust? Essentially, it allows you and me, even without millions, it allows you and me to own office spaces, malls, hotels, condos, hospitals, and parking lots, income-generating real estate assets, commercial real estate assets, for as little as 3,500 pesos, thereabouts. No, it's quite it's the newest. No, it's the newest kid on the block. It's the newest asset class in the industry. And it's quite popular, especially for the more more conservative investors out there na nasa stock market because ang selling point nito on top of its minimal capital requirement, it provides us with instant diversification. So pag bumili ka ng REIT, hindi ka pwedeng mamili, gusto ko yung mall lang yung bibilin ko. Hindi. Pag bumili ka ng REIT, lahat yon co-owner ka na. Yung mall, yung office space, yung hotel, yung condo, yung hospital, lahat ng pagmamay-ari ng Real Estate Investment Trust Corporation, pagmamay-ari mo rin bilang shareholder or stockholder ng Real Estate Investment Trust. It's professionally managed, but unlike mutual funds na fund manager ang humahawak, dito property manager and admin managers ang humahawak. It's very liquid kasi hindi mo kailangang magbenta ng isang poste ng mall for you to go out of the REIT. You're going to have to sell your REIT shares. No? So walang physical selling of properties involved. You're selling your ownership of the REIT. And most importantly, it provides us with regular dividends. So ito yung sinasabi ko na isang selling point ng Real Estate Investment Trust. It is required. Real estate investment trust corporations are required to distribute 90% of their income as dividends. Requirement. So may batas na nagsasabi, oy, lahat ng real estate investment trust corporations, kapag kumita kayo ng 100 million, ang ibig sabihin niyan, 90 million dyan, kailangan yung i-distribute sa mga real estate investment trust investors by way of dividends. How regular are they giving out dividends? Based on the first two REITs in the country, they're giving out quarterly dividends. So every 3 months, may nakukuha ka na dividendo. So again, it's very attractive. No? So talking about real estate, real estate, if you'd like to invest or make money by buying office spaces, condos, hospitals, commercial lots, no, commercial establishments, be prepared to shell out billions. Diba? Totoo naman eh. In all practicality, for you to be able to invest and own and make money off of real estate, commercial real estate, at ganun yung gusto mong quality, no, office buildings, condos, malls, hotels, you're going to have to spend billions. And again, let's face it, not every Filipino can shell out billions of pesos just like that. But again, when it comes to REITs, it provides you with an opportunity to co-own those particular commercial real estate investments for as little as what? 3,500 pesos. All right. And the good thing about that is our friends from Vista Land, our friends from Brittany and Vista Land, they are actually planning, no, as early as 2020 pa lang, meron na silang feelers sa market na, oy, wait for 2021 or perhaps early 2022, because we're going to join the REIT space. We're going to provide you guys an opportunity to co-own some of our properties, some of our commercial properties, without having to shell out a lot of money. Because again, Vista Land is planning to offer REITs to the market, if not 2021, baka early 2022. So all eyes on Vista Land for this year for REIT offering. All right. So now all these options, all these investment options that we've talked about. We've talked about the legitimate investment asset classes in the Philippines. You have deposits, bonds, stocks, real estate. They're arranged in that fashion because of the risk, return, and time horizon features. You've talked about quarantine investments because what we've just talked about, no, yung stocks, mutual funds or UITFs, ETFs, and real estate investment trusts. These are investment options that you can avail of online, everything online. Kaya quarantine investments, you can invest even if you're under quarantine. It's not an excuse. It's not a reason for you not to start investing. But what I'd like you to understand is, even though the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the Philippine Stock Exchange, even though our guys, our friends from Brittany, no matter how much effort we exert in providing opportunities to Filipinos, no, to start investing, a lot of Filipinos still don't take advantage. Only 10% of Filipinos have savings, but 83% of us have high-end mobile phones. And then we keep on telling ourselves, Andoy, I can't save because I don't have money. Only again, 10% of Filipinos save, only 10% of Filipinos save, but a good 83% of us, according to SWS, have high-end mobile phones. Less than 1% or 0.7% of Filipinos have online investment accounts. Less than 1%. But 48% of Filipinos have online social media accounts. It's easier for us to open a social media account than for us to think about our future by opening a digital bank account, by opening an investment account. It only takes us 5 minutes every payday or 5 minutes a month for us to transfer money from our payroll account to our savings account, from our savings account to our investment account. 5 minutes a month. But every single day, according to SWS, Filipinos spend about 3.5 to 4 hours browsing social media. And then we keep on telling ourselves, Andoy, I can't do that because I'm such a busy person. I don't have time. Again, what I'm trying to say here is we have money. We just choose to spend our money buying the wrong, unnecessary stuff. We have time. We just choose to spend our time doing the unproductive stuff. That's why the challenge kanina is for us to think that money is not just intended to be spent. Money, when invested properly, and money when invested in an investment outlet that you guys understand, money can make more money. So kanina napag-usapan natin yung momentum, downward momentum. There are reasons why the market, why the economy has been going down. And it's documented. It's well documented. But what I'd like you to understand though is, for every time the market goes down, for some reason, it just tends to recover. 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 And I think it's this perfect opportune time that we talk about upward momentum. How do we go? How do we go up? Sinasabi nila parang there's nowhere to go but up kasi bagsak na tayo. Again, my partner Joey Bondoc will talk a lot about those things in detail, no? But what my question to you guys is, there are reasons. There are also reasons why the Philippine economy, why the stock market just keeps on rebounding. All right. Alibaba happens to be the biggest online store, but it's not selling anything. Airbnb happens to be the biggest accommodations provider, but it doesn't own real estate properties. Uber happens to be the largest transport vehicle network in the world, but it owns no vehicles, zero vehicles. Facebook happens to be the biggest social media platform, but it has zero content. Vista Land, Brittany, 'di ba? Parang sa real estate investment trust space. They're going to eventually provide you an opportunity to earn money of real estate properties without having to buy real estate properties at real estate property prices. And First Metro Sec happens to provide Filipinos with an opportunity to make millions without having to invest millions. Because some people think for me to be able to make a lot of money, I need to invest a lot of money. But again, napag-usapan nga natin kanina, 5,000 stocks, 5,000 mutual funds, 1,500 exchange traded fund, 3,500 real estate investment trust. Those are practical numbers, diba? Those are very easily reachable numbers. Those are that's an amount that any Filipino can actually save up for, just for them to be able to start investing. First Metro Sec allows you to open one online account for all your investment needs, whether stocks pa yan or mutual funds, UITFs, bonds, ETF, or real estate investment trust. I'm enjoining you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel for anything and everything investments on demand. So kapag may free time kayo, kapag nagpapaanto kayo, feel free to browse through our official YouTube channel for learning content. We have timely and actionable research reports for free fundamental analysis. Hindi na kayo mag-analyze on your own. We're going to analyze it for you, and we're doing these things for free. We have the first and the only automated chart pattern recognition system in the Philippines. So that's free technical analysis for you. Hindi ka na magte-technical analysis, hindi ka na mag-charting. Our system, our AI, our robot will be doing that for you. And we have automated cost averaging facility in the voluntary investment program for as little as 1.5 a month. If you guys are interested in opening an account, it's super easy. www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. Complete the online form, upload the documents online, and you're done. 5 to 10 minutes, and you're done. Just remember, though, that when the system asks you, how did you learn about us? Just click seminar or event, and then just type in the promo code Brittany para mas mabilis yung processing at ma-prioritize kayo when it comes to account opening and account activation. So there you have it. But before I leave you, please let me again remind you that you need to be wise when it comes to where you're supposed to, use your money. It's hard-earned money. If you keep on spending and spending and spending money, especially on unnecessary expenses, you're going to keep on losing and losing and losing money. But if you're wise enough to budget and save and invest your money in investment outlets that you perfectly understand, then it gives you an opportunity to grow and grow and grow and grow your money until you reach the finish line. For that, again, momentum to work to your advantage. So again, this has been Andro Beltran from First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. Thanking you for the opportunity, thanking you for listening. And I know we're going to devote a few minutes after Joey's presentation for Q&A. But then again, if you'd like to get in touch, you may reach me via abeltran@firstmetrosec.com.ph. I'm on social media as Andro Beltran, and I'm also the guy behind Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. So there you have it. Pao, take it away.
There. So thank you for that very insightful presentation you gave us, Sir Andro. Now that you've enlightened us with this, we are now getting more confident to build our strategies and start building investment, eyeing on either stock and market investing or real estate investing, being one of the top high-risk investments that will surely give back high returns as well. So like what you've said, sir, it's being an instant business entrepreneur for us, investing in some stock trading, buying blue chip stocks or IPOs, or real estate investing that is surely pandemic proof, knowing that it is the highest potential returns due to its value appreciation. Or why not have both? By getting shares of both mutual funds and real estate, that's called real estate investment trust. So especially now in these challenging times, looking how resilient the market is, building its own momentum and its opportunity to go in an upward trend, it is really now the best time to invest on either of these various investments mentioned earlier. So with that, we thank you again, Sir Andro, for sharing your expertise with us this afternoon. I know some of our audience might have little bit excited to ask some questions, but please reserve them in a while. We'll be having our Q&A portion where you can address Sir Andro all your questions on the chat box provided later. All right. So again, thank you, Sir Andro.